Welcome back to Does It Go Hard, the show where I review movies, video games, and more. Today is actually a very special one because I'm going to be reviewing the latest Star Wars Disneyplus show, Obi Wan Kenobi. I'm not sure if I've expressed it in the past in my channel, but I am a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars. I especially love the character of Obi Wan Kenobi. I've grown to appreciate the prequels, and I have to admit that Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi has always been the best part about the prequels. And not only that, but the way that the Clone Wars series really elevated a lot of the material from the prequels, especially its characters, was just amazing, and it has really made me appreciate this universe a lot more and appreciate the characters and the world building that the prequels try to do. So when I heard that they were making an Obi Wan Kenobi spin-off series, a chapter that takes place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, I got really excited, especially hearing all the news about the casting, especially Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi Wan Kenobi. Of course, you gotta have him back, and probably the biggest surprise that I don't think a lot of people really expected, which was Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. That was a huge surprise to me, and I was really excited because I also love Hayden Christensen. I thought he was really unfairly shit on during the prequel era. So it was really nice to see that there was finally a way to kind of redeem not only this great actor, but also this character that in the prequel movies wasn't really treated too well either, but in other material like the Clone Wars series was very much elevated and was very much improved on. So now that the series is finally here, what did I think about it? Being such a huge fan of Star Wars, being a huge fan of Obi Wan Kenobi, being a huge fan about the prequels and the Clone Wars series, did this meet my expectations? Well, let's get into it. So first of all, I just want to say it right away, I really thought this show was great, okay? It wasn't perfect, but I thought it was great. I loved most of it, but I do have to admit that it has issues, and it has very clear issues that if we can just improve upon these little things, Disney Star Wars can really start to improve a lot more. I mean, we've already seen improvements definitely from the sequel trilogy in the Disneyplus shows with The Mandalorian. I really love The Mandalorian. The Bad Batch was really cool. I'm very excited to see what they're gonna do in season 2. Then there's also Book of Boba Fett was kind of disappointing, I'm being honest. I was kind of in the middle with it. I didn't really love it, but I also didn't really hate it. First of all, I want to praise this show for a lot of the things that it does right first. Mainly, of course, the acting. Everybody does an amazing job in this show. I don't think it's any surprise. Ewan McGregor back as this character is such a treat. He really encapsulates very well what this character is going through during this time in the Star Wars universe. It's been like 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and if I'm not mistaken, he's kind of gone in hiding on Tatooine looking out for Luke Skywalker, and you can see how the events of the Revenge of the Sith have really affected him emotionally and mentally, where he's been really detached from the Force. He's really cut all connections with all of his friends. Bail Organa, which Bail Organa appears in this show, by the way, and it's such a treat also to see this character back. Ewan McGregor does an amazing job really playing this broken, completely depressed character. You can really see the pain in just the really subtle performance that he gives. It's truly great, and I loved every single time Ewan McGregor was on screen, you know, acting his ass off. And again, everybody does a great job. There's only maybe one person here that is I'm kind of mixed on, but overall everybody does a good job. All the actors that played the Inquisitors did a great job with the material that they were given with. Hayden Christensen as both Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, he was great too. It was especially very good to see Hayden work with better material than what he was given when he was making the prequel movies. To finally see Hayden be kind of acknowledged as a better actor than what he was given back in the day where back in the day he was just kind of looked up on as not a good actor, and I've always defended him. I've always thought he's been a good actor. It just really made me happy that this series really redeemed him, not only as a character, as his character, but also as an actor in general, where back then, he was getting a lot of shit on for his portrayal of Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. Like I said, everybody does a great job with what they're given, but there's only one person here that I feel like gets probably the worst material to work with, and it's Moses Ingram as Inquisitor Reva. I feel, and let me first say, I really liked her character at the beginning, and near the end, I also started to sympathize with her character. The problem is that I feel like during the middle center of the series, they kind of take a long time to really establish what her motive is, that by the end it's like, when you finally get to know her motivation and the reason why she's doing things, it feels a little bit too late by that point. I don't know if maybe it's just me, but also she's not giving the best dialogue. She really plays up her villain performance in this. And here's the thing, I really love her. I think she's a great actress. I've seen her in where have I don't remember what else have I seen her in, but I know her. And I know that she's a great actress, but here she's just given poor material to work with, and the way that she's also directed to act very bombastic and very over the top, which makes her performance also a little bit less impactful as the show kind of goes on. But I still believe that the actress did the best she could with the material she was given. I still think she is a great actress, and everybody that's harassing this poor woman should really feel ashamed of themselves. I mean, if you're really one of these fucking losers, is like really just pissed off that there's a black woman in the Star Wars universe. Not only that, a strong black woman in the Star Wars universe. I mean, you're stupid. You're pathetic. You are ridiculous. I can't remember the name of the actor, but the guy that plays Owen Lars, Luke's adopted father, he's amazing. This is one of those actors where I wish we saw more of in the series, because he only appears in the first episode and in the final episode. But when he's on screen, you really like him. He's given good dialogue. There's another thing I can really appreciate about this show, which a lot of people say that it was kind of meaningless that they made the show. Really, there was no purpose to make the show. To me, I feel like it was, because this show, while it doesn't work 100% to its full potential, there's a lot of things that do, and those the few things, or the good amount of things that do work in this show really make you appreciate a lot of the things that happen in later films in the Star Wars saga, mainly A New Hope. In A New Hope, you don't really get to appreciate Owen Lars as much. Like, you don't get to appreciate the Lars family that much. You're just kind of like, okay, they seem like nice people, but you don't really feel a connection to them. You don't really feel attached to them because you don't spend too much with them. And even when you do, you just kind of feel like, especially Owen, you just kind of feel like he's kind of an asshole throughout the little time he's in A New Hope. But this show does fix that. This show fixes that by making you actually sympathize with him. You actually learn to appreciate him as a character, and you find out, oh no, like, he does love Luke. He does consider Luke as his own son. And that not only did that improve the character for me personally, but that also made his impending doom in A New Hope more heart-wrenching. So again, the little things that this show did right, I feel that work not only to its advantage to the show, but to A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith as well. So aside from that, other amazing things, the cinematography is amazing. I think what's the director of the name of the director? Okay, the name of the director is Deborah Chow. Deborah Chow has directed some of my favorite, or she directed one of my favorite episodes out of The Mandalorian. I think she's amazing. So to see her really direct not only a few episodes but direct the entire series, I thought was great, because you can really feel like there's a consistent directorial vision throughout the entire thing. Again, the cinematography is great, the directing I feel is very strong, the special effects are also really good. They're TV special effects, but they're definitely much higher for your typical TV CGI and visuals and stuff. I think that the technology that Star Wars and Lucasfilm has is truly amazing. And another thing I can really appreciate about the show is, thank God we don't stay on Tatooine. That was one of the things that really just bothered me a lot, or at least it's really starting to bother me a lot about Star Wars, is that we don't get to see other planets. Like, we always go back to the same planets constantly, and it's getting to a point where it's not only becoming annoying, but it's becoming really, really, really disturbing how much Star Wars just likes to keep itself attached to Tatooine. Like, I am tired of this fucking planet. Now, I'm gonna get into my issues now, which are a bit... Again, I've talked about a few already early on, but I wanna just kind of explain myself a little bit more. Here's the thing. It's not like I don't like the Reva character. I just feel that the way that they developed her and the way kind of her arc was done in the show was kind of weak, in my opinion. Like I said, at first I really liked her character because she's kind of like a loose cannon. Like, she doesn't care what authorities above her tell her. She's just gonna do whatever she wants, and I like that. I really like that about her character. And when they finally reveal her motivations, that she wants to kill Darth Vader because Anakin killed her youngling friends, because she was a youngling back in the Jedi Temple when Order 66 was happening. So that was also really cool. But I feel that the chunk in the middle with her story arc and the way that it ended just wasn't very fulfilling, in my opinion. Like, I feel like they really didn't... I feel like her story wasn't tight enough. Like, I feel like if they would have introduced her... They would have introduced her motivations early on, like maybe like mid through the show, or the show, I feel that it would have worked better, and we could have kind of grown to appreciate that character a little bit more. But at the same time, I don't hate her character. Like, here's the thing, I don't hate her character. I just kind of wish that her arc was a little bit better handled, because it's kind of up and down, you know. Like I said, it's kind of cool. It's kind of she starts as an interesting character at the beginning because she's kind of mysterious. You don't know much about her, and you want to learn more about her because she obviously has a grudge towards Kenobi. Then by the end, you get to, or at least by the second to last episode, you learn her motivation. You're like, okay, this makes sense. And I just want to see how this kind of ends, or where this is going. But the thing is that the way it ends, it was just not very rewarding. And that, again, that huge chunk in the middle where you spend so much time not knowing what her motivation is, does kind of make you not care. Like, after a while, when you don't know her motivation, you just kind of start to lose interest. And that's kind of how I felt. I started to lose interest on what her whole motivation was. But I don't hate the character. I just wish that she was given something better to do, you know. That's kind of how I'm feeling about the character. Another issue I have with the show is that, unfortunately, the writing is not the strongest. I mean, this is kind of a common thing in Star Wars anyway, but the writing here was very janky. It's very inconsistent. That's the best way I can put it. The script is very weird because characters will be stuck in a situation where you're like, how the fuck are they gonna get out of this tight situation? And then, like, nothing, they just kind of solve it, and it's solved in almost sometimes ridiculous ways, or in very over-the-top ways where I'm like, dude, come on, like, really? That's kind of ridiculous. Like, for example, in, I think it's the third episode, when we finally see Darth Vader, there's like a little fight between Obi Wan and Darth Vader, and there's this point where you're like, Darth Vader like has Obi Wan right here. He could just kill him now, but he lets him go because there's like 3 episodes left to the show. So it's like that stuff like that really is a pet peeve to me, because it's kind of lazy writing, and you can really tell that the writers didn't know how to end this, or kind of how to come up with a better conclusion, or like a better way for the characters to kind of get out of this situation. Again, it's just a pet peeve of mine with like when writing starts to do shit like that, where like characters get out of situations very easily in very ridiculous ways, as well as characters being in one place and then being in another, like in a matter of like seconds, of like no time. It's like, that's ridiculous. And now for my personal complaints. These are kind of more personal. Again, this is, but at the same time, I feel like this is also kind of a general conception about the show. The show doesn't focus completely on the relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. It doesn't fully focus on that. Sometimes it does, but it's not throughout the entire series. What I thought, my hopes for this series was that it was going to truly be a full-on character analysis of how Obi-Wan is dealing with grief and with regret, you know, and kind of feeling guilty for what happened during the events of Revenge of the Sith. And again, you kind of get a little bit of that here, but my hopes for the entire show was it was going to, my hopes for the show is that it was going to be all of that the entire show was going to be revolved around that. It's not really. The show focuses on another child escort mission where, oh my god, Bail Organa, she is taking care of 10-year-old Leia, and Leia gets kidnapped, so Organa communicates with Obi-Wan saying, please help me get my daughter back, Leia. And so he goes into this adventure trying to rescue Leia, and when he finally rescues her, it's the whole journey of him returning Leia to her family, or his adoptive her adoptive family. And it's just like it's like, I don't hate it, but this is not really what I came here for. Like, I wanted this to really just be about Obi-Wan and Anakin / Darth Vader. That's what I mainly wanted this series to be about, and it's not always about that. It's the disappointing part about the show. I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's disappointing, but it did feel a little bit underwhelming. We do get a really cool flashback scene with Obi-Wan and Anakin during the times of, I think it's Attack of the Clones, because Anakin still has his right arm, so it's definitely before the Battle of Geonosis. What I wanted is more stuff like that throughout the entire series. What I wanted to see were Clone Wars flashbacks, and something that I really wanted to see is dive more into Obi-Wan's grief with Satine. I think Obi-Wan and Satine's relationship is one of the best in the Star Wars universe. And again, we do get that in the actual Clone Wars series, so it's not like we don't get like stuff about Obi-Wan grieving about Satine and her fate in the actual Clone Wars series, but I just kind of wish that they also did a bit of that here in the Obi Wan Kenobi show. So, I don't know. Again, these are things that are personal to me that I just wish that the show kind of did. But again, that's just me having really high expectations. Now, there is one thing that they do for the final episode that I was like, come on. Like, you've been teasing this from the first episode. If you do not deliver on this, it's kind of even pointless for you to do it. But the fact that they did it was amazing. So in the first episode, and throughout the show in general, Obi-Wan is trying to communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn, because in Revenge of the Sith, Yoda told him that Qui-Gon communicated with Yoda. Qui-Gon wanted to continue Kenobi's training while he was in exile on Tatooine, but because Obi-Wan's kind of been disconnected from the Force for quite a while, it's hard for him to communicate with his master. So I thought, man, like, when are we gonna see Qui-Gon? And if you don't show Qui-Gon, then that was kind of pointless. But by the end, they finally show him, and it is absolutely glorious. I'm just gonna tell you something. I watched the final episode while I was at the gym, and I was watching it while doing the treadmill. And right when Qui-Gon appeared, I got excited, but there were a few people in the gym, so I didn't want to scream or anything. So I kind of had to internalize my excitement and be like, "Fuck yes!" Even though it's like a really small moment, I still loved it. The fact that they brought back Liam Neeson to play this character that I love, it's just great. I loved it. I just thank you. Man. So yes, the show is not perfect, okay? And I know that the show is getting criticized for many things. Some are legit good criticism, some are kind of stupid in my opinion. But overall, I really loved this series. There's speculation of maybe a season 2, which at first, before I was like, I don't know, I kind of wish that this was just kind of its own one thing only, you know, I kind of wish it was just a limited series, but the way it ends with Qui-Gon, and the fact that I actually enjoyed it this much, I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do a second season. Like, I'm on board with a second season. Man, whatever happens, I'll be completely fine. I'll be good. I got what I got what I wanted, or at least most of what I wanted. So, my final rating for the Obi Wan Kenobi series on Disneyplus. Man, it was kind of difficult, but honestly, and here's the thing, just because it has those few little issues here and there and personal things that I wanted to see that didn't really happen in the show, I'm gonna give it a low, but still a goes raw. Even though it's a low goes raw, I still feel that the show is great. I still feel that you should watch it. I still feel that it actually has purpose. I don't feel like it was meaningless to do it. I thought it actually was great that they did this show. But again, that's only my opinion. But either way, what did you guys think about Obi Wan Kenobi? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Or are you kind of in the middle? I really liked it. But anyways, that's just my opinion. Leave down in the comments what you thought about the show. If you liked the video, remember to like it, subscribe if you want to keep watching my videos, if you want to keep updated with my content. Click on the bell and share the video, share it with your friends, family, whatever. Spread the word of the channel. That would really help a lot. I don't know what will be the next video. I don't know if I'll maybe talk about something or maybe I'll review something. I don't know. I'll let you guys know. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.